G'day, punters. We're back with another episode of The Weigh-In. We're going to analyse this meeting at Randwick on Saturday, Caulfield Guineas Day in Melbourne. It was a cracking race. Animo took out the Caulfield Guineas. What did you make of him? He's going on to a Cox Plate in 2 weeks' time, Luke.
He is, BJ. G'day to you. He's a good 3-year-old. He really is, Animo. He had the bad draw, but he got the job done. I had Artorias running for a decent result. I thought he was really well ridden and had his chance, but he just has no race sense, that horse. He can't come out of the barriers and take any sort of position. So that's to his detriment. But Animo, best horse on the day, and he'll run a big race in the Cox Plate.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited about the Cox Plate. He's a real live chance. We had Zaki go down. What did you make of him?
He was aggressive in the run. I think if Willow had his time again, he might have led on him like he did last start, or the run before, I should say.
Yep.
He just got a little bit keen in behind horses in a slow speed. You can't sack him off that. It wasn't his sort of race. He goes better in a race with a bit of pressure, and there was none on Saturday.
Yeah, no doubt. But it's not ideal, is it? Bouncing off that into a Cox Plate.
Agreed. Not ideal, but I think he'll peak on the day. It'll be interesting what happens with jockeys, because Craig Williams is on Animo. So does that mean J-Mac is going down to ride Zaki? I'm just reading between the lines. I don't know, but I'd say that could well be the case, or he's going to have a new rider on Cox Plate Day anyway.
I think they're giving him every opportunity to get down there and ride him, which is the right move, I'd suggest.
For sure.
Let's get stuck into this meeting at Randwick. We kicked it off with a Class 3 highway over 1,600 metres. It was a relatively fast highway, and Lord DeCenimo broke his long winning drought. He was $9.50. He's hovered around that price for most of the day. Bahamut, he was $6.50 out to $7.50. Athena's Lad, $27 into $23. Best backed runner outside the top horses in the market was Laughing or Crying. He was $27 into $19. Didn't have much luck either. And the best last 600 metres was So Say You, after covering a bit of extra ground, Luke.
Yeah, run-of-the-mill highway, you're right. The tempo was genuine, allowed these horses from the back to get into it. I backed Bahamut. I thought he had his chance when it was too good, Lord DeCenimo, but any race he wins, I'm going to lose. He's 2 from 32 now, so good luck to his connections. He's been a really honest horse without winning too many times, but that was his day on Saturday. As far as horses to follow, Mikado, I think, did a bit of work and stuck on well. I could back it next start from a better draw.
Yeah, no doubt. Me too. I thought Mikado was good. I actually had something small on him. Did a bit of work. Went to the front, shot away, knocked up. I think he was 28 days between runs as well. So he's a horse that I could back at his next start. Whatsin didn't have the best luck, slow away, and then needed room sooner in the straight. Laughing or Crying didn't have the best of luck, and Foodie King, I thought he was really good. He had the best last 200 metres of the race, and he got shut out at about the 300 metres. So he did a good job and can win a highway, but not much else to say on that race. We'll move on to the second. It was the midway, a benchmark 72 over 1,400 metres. Different Strokes was $3 out to $3.20. Divine Breath, $10 out to $12, and Actar was the best backed runner. A lot went up better during the week at about Wednesday, but on the day he was $6.50 into $5.50, and the best last 600 metres was that horse Actar, home in 33 and 72. What did you make of this horse going forward to the 4 Pillars, Luke?
Can win it. He's a really progressive horse, very tough, well ridden by Bowman. He just put him in the gun spot. You never wanted to be on any other horse in the run. Cream Rises, there was good money for it. He travelled wide and pulled up with a poor post-race recovery. So something amiss with him. He was too bad to be true there. Run-of-the-mill midway, but the winner's got progression. So too the second horse, Divine Breath, which I believe is also in that race you mentioned, the 4 Pillars. I think it just got a slot this morning, Blakey. So, she's a nice horse.
Yeah, she does go well, and she's a Class 1 horse, mixing it with benchmark 72 horses. So she did a good job. And that horse you mentioned, Cream Rises, he's been well supported at both his runs this preparation, and he actually hasn't beat a horse home yet. But he does have ability, and he didn't have the best of luck there. So I'm sure they'll be back to the drawing board with him and find a race, because he's definitely got ability. But we'll move on. 2,000 metres, benchmark 78. They went 8 lengths faster than the Spring Champion Stakes. So they've gone along at a good clip here. Yiyi's done it as a slow pace 2 weeks ago, and he did it on the back of a hot speed here. He hovered around about $7.50 for most of the day. Dream Runner, $14 into $13. And Solar Apex, the damage was done earlier in the week. He started favourite. He was $3.60. They spec'd Cognac, $51 into $18. This horse, he's going well, isn't he, Luke? Yiyi.
Yeah, flying. Absolutely flying. Chris getting everything out of him. He went up significantly in weight here and was still too good. Just really enjoyed that pressure up front. Best choice on the day one. Solar Apex went well, stepping up to Saturday level. I thought Ita went better than I myself thought she would. I didn't think she would run 2,000 metres, but she definitely ticked that box here.
Yeah, she did. She was good. I think this race can be followed with relative confidence going forward. Fortified, I thought he was a good run. He got shut out at about the 600, lost, or maybe a bit closer to the line than that, probably about the 400. He got shut out, and he found the line really nicely. He's looking for further now. So Fortified out of that race from me, but nothing else. I think the winner can be followed as well. Yeah, he can make it 3 wins on the trot. Move on. First of the black type races on the day was the Group 2 Stan Fox Stakes over 1,500 metres. Halal, he bounced back. He was $7 out to $8. Coast Watch, hovered around that $2.10 mark for most of the day. Brigantine, not well liked by the market, $4.80 out to $7. The best back runner was clearly Coda Heli, $4.80 into $3.90. And Halal finished up in the best 600 metres of the race, home in 34.74. He was a really good bounce back here, Luke.
Yeah, he really was. I lost on this race. I couldn't have him. I just wasn't convinced he was going as well, but good training from Team Hawks. They tinkered around with the gear a bit. Winkers on for the first time, took the visors off, and he was back and wide in the premium 3-year-old race, being the Golden Rose. So good luck to you if you backed him. I was on Coat Heel. Some say Coda Healy, but whichever way you pronounce it, I think this horse has more to offer. He just got a little bit aggressive in the early part of this race, and I think he's a better horse ridden off the speed. It was just how the race unfolded that he was sort of left in front, if you will. But I think he could go to a race like the Bondi and be right there. He's got the upside. Coast Watch was good, but I think he's probably coming towards the end of his preparation now. And if he doesn't spell, I think he's probably only got one more run left in him this campaign. Yeah,
he's been up for a long time. The Quinella, both through the Golden Rose, the trifecta in the Caulfield Guineas were all through the Golden Rose. So that's a red hot form race now. Coda Heli, as you said, probably a Bondi Stakes. The market loved him, so that's an indication of his ability. And I thought Akihiro up in class was pretty good. I'd want to be on him in a race like a midway race in the near future. He was good finishing off, and he measured up to that class, but not much else from me. I'm going to move on to the Roman Consul now. This horse was backed as if unbeatable. A Group 2 1,200 metre event. They went 3 lengths faster than the Navision. The fillies and mares on the day. Paulele on the day, $2.20 into $1.90. I think he got as short as about $1.75. So he was really well liked by the market. The pros had him getting back to that Randwick form, which we saw from him first up. Glen Eagle, $6.50 out to $9. He was very good. King of Sparta, $9 out to $10. Best last 600 metres was actually Overpass. He was home in 33.32. What did you make of this horse, Luke? He was very good. Godolphin haven't taken him as their Everest slot holder, but he can win more races. Go to a race like the Coolmore later in the carnival.
Good sprinter. I avoided the obvious here. I had a decent bet on Sort of State, just on the reasoning that I think he had decent scope for improvement off that first up run where he carried 60 kilos in the Heritage and was wide the trip. Paulele beat him home on that occasion. I just thought he could bridge the margin somewhat, but he had his chance and the best horse won. And after 200 metres, the race was completely over. James able to find 3 wide with cover in a striking position, and he just travelled sweet. And I mean, I'd say he wins this race 8.5, 9 times out of 10 if you rerun it. So the $1.90 was value.
Yeah, the pros, they identified him as the best horse in the race, and they stepped in on the day. Who would you have took in if you were Godolphin and you had an Everest slot? Would you have took Trekking, or would you have took this horse?
Well, Trekking's proven, isn't he? He's run 3rd and 4th in 2 Everests, so I guess he deserves to.
Can he win an Everest? He probably can't win, but
no, I agree.
I would think this horse would have a better winning chance. I would say that. I'm not sure if he could win, but he could sit on the back of a hot speed, and we just don't know. He doesn't have a ceiling yet, this horse.
Well, that's the thing too. He's a horse that's going to be stalking and running on in a high-speed Everest. We saw Classique Legend come from beyond midfield last year in a high-pressure race. So he's the style of horse that could do something, and we know 3-year-olds have got a decent enough record. I mean, yes, won one. So he's not going to be there, but who knows? 12 months' time, he just might be.
Yeah, no doubt. He's a good horse moving forward. He's a horse I want to follow out of the race, but we'll move on. Race 6 was the Angst Stakes over a mile. Mirror Vision ticked that box for the first time in her career. This was a great ride by Sam Clipperton. $6.50 into $4.40. More profits. She was very good. She didn't have the best luck. $14 out to $17. Kiku, also another one who didn't have the best luck. $4.80 out to $5.50. Best last 600 metres was Outback Diva, home in 34.34, but she just puts herself in impossible positions. Luke, this was a good ride here by Sam Clipperton.
Great ride. How do you think the track played on Saturday?
I thought it played relatively fair. Down the middle, I would suggest. Probably.
Yeah, I thought the same. I thought middle. I thought ideally you wanted to get off the rail, but then in the race we'll talk about in two or three races' time, Minhaj came up the inside and the second horse came up the fence. So I'm confused. I think it was better to be toward the middle in the straight. Anyway, look, I was against a Mirror Vision at the mile and she proved me wrong. She was too good here, travelled up sweetly. And as you said, put in a great spot by Clippo. And she was well backed by the smart money and she got the money. More Profits was a little bit unlucky. She ran on well for second. I backed Charlize and Amaralina in this race. I thought Charlize was disappointing. Just expected her to explode when she eventually got that run in the straight. And my other bet was Amaralina, based around what we were just talking about, that you wanted that wider passage, it seemed. And I wasn't too worried about her sitting wide in run as she did. I still thought she could win doing that, but she'd had enough at the 100, maybe needing one more run to get to peak fitness possibly, but Winner was too good on the day.
Yeah, she was very good. She definitely ticked the mile box, Mirror Vision. I made that little mistake too with Charlie. So she just probably had a little bit too much to make up on the winner. And I jumped in at that $10. She was really well supported. She was into $6.50. But Emeralina, I wouldn't be dropping off her personally. She faced the breeze and she was only second up. I think she can improve off that and probably bounce and have a peak effort third up. But race isn't probably one that I really want to follow into the future just because they run an okay time, but it was a bit of a bunch finish in behind Mirror Vision. But nothing else to say on that. We'll move on. The feature. No, we're not going to move on to the feature race of the day yet. We're going to move on to the 7th, one of the feature races of the day, the Silver Eagle over 1,300 metres. There was only one 1,300 on the day. AIM wasn't really well liked by the market. $31 out to $34. Ellsberg, he was well liked by the market. $6 into $4.40. Counter Rupee, $7.50 out to $8.50. Best last 600 metres was Blondo, a 33.09. AIM was a shock result here, Luke, in a bit of a roughhouse affair.
Oh, what a mess this was. Just terrible with Triple A's. Obviously, by now everyone would know my personal interest in that and got a bit of a scare with Alicia on him. And, mate, I'm just so grateful to the horse to stay up how he did. I mean, he's gone a miss on the turn and that could have been nasty for any number of horses and jockeys. So Sadly, his injury was a catastrophic one, but I know that he was quite a special horse to the Lee stable and the ownership group. So it's just terrible, mate, what happened to him. But away from that, I think the race overall you have to take with a grain of salt because a lot of these horses didn't get every chance. I backed Equation. He was somewhat inconvenienced. Counter Rupee was inconvenienced. So was Ellsberg. The winner's gone great. And, I mean, it's always easy on after the fact, but he's, you know, for a pretty good horse, he's gone around 30s here. Which Dean Watling, who was on the punters panel with us on Friday, well found by him. He found him. So, yeah, I'm just not sure what to do with the form. How are you handling this?
It's an interesting one. Yeah, that's a good find by Dino. I don't know. I thought Counter Rupee was probably the most inconvenienced. And as you said, Triple H, he did a fantastic job to stay upright. He's got he had a real knack for racing because he was never out of a place in his whole career. 12 starts outside of this one. So he wanted to be a racehorse. Vangelic, she ran last and she probably copped equal to the worst of it. So she was a complete excuse.
Well, how did she stay up as well? I mean,
she did a terrific job. It's a race that I agree we take with a grain of salt. The one that I want to follow out of the race is Ellsberg. I think he's going to peak third up. I think it was 1,400 meters back to 1,300 meters, and he lost a bit of momentum when that horse broke down as well. And he picked himself back up, and he looked a winner. And Ames just had the momentum and got over him late. But I think Ellsberg is the horse that I want to follow going towards the Golden Eagle. Whether or not this is the race that I want to follow into the Golden Eagle, he's probably the horse that I want to follow out of this race. You, Luke?
I'll reserve judgment. I mean, where else is I'm thinking one of these internationals.
Because you're going to have I'm Thunderstruck as well, Apache Chase.
Yeah, him. Yeah, there's a horse called Maximal that O'Shea trains. It's got some really good European form. We haven't seen it here yet, but it's heading there. So
I think Annabelle's got two. One might be a Group 1 winner as well.
Yep. So there's a few lurking. So I wouldn't want to say, this is the form at this stage because there's a few pretty smart horses that haven't been produced yet. But it was just a race I'd rather forget, to be honest. It was just,
The feature of the day, the Spring Champion Stakes, 2,000 metres. They went 8 lengths slower than the benchmark 78 earlier in the day. Profondo, he was $3.40, out to $3.80, and then the big players stepped in there, got him down as a good horse. He started $2.80. Never Been Kissed. She was well liked by the market on the 7-day backup, $4.80 into $4. Allegron, $9 out to $13. Best last 600 metres was Profondo, home in 34.35. Head of State, he pulled up with a cardiac arrhythmia. Connections didn't pay up for a Cox Plate, Luke. Do you think they'd be regretting that now with Profondo?
I don't think they'd be regretting it because I think they know they've got a really good horse in 6 months. I mean, this horse still has no idea what he's doing.
No idea.
He won't settle. He lays in. He's hard to ride. Well done to Robbie Dolan, by the way, too. First Group 1, great moment from him and for him. And he rode him really well, rode him with confidence. I think he's a good horse, BJ, like a really good horse. I think in the autumn he could do some serious damage. And I can't wait to see what he does in about 6 months. Of the beaten horses, there's a few here that are ticking along all right towards the Victoria Derby if they end up there. Allegron just will stay all day, I think. Satirical Glory, he'll just keep whacking on. Benno, I don't know if he gets there. I backed him all in, so I'm hoping. But I've got a feeling he might, if he doesn't go out now, he'll probably go out before the Derby. But if he went there, I think he could still do good things. But thin on the ground for stayers, I'd suggest. They're heading towards the Victoria Derby.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. But Satirical Glory, he was good. He over-raced a little bit early. Benno, I think he's a very good horse of the future and a good stayer. I agree with Profondo. He is a very good horse, and he's a multiple Group 1 winner in waiting, no doubt. I think he's going to have a big 4-year-old season. That maybe Queen Elizabeth Stakes might be one they might have their eye on in the autumn. So I'm excited about him. I think he's a very good horse. To do what he's done in 3 career starts is outstanding. He won on debut at a midweeker, and then he measured up in that Gloaming Stakes, and he's really put these horses to the sword. He really savaged the line late, but yeah, as you said, well done to Robbie Dolan, maiden Group 1, plenty more to come. Anything else to add on the feature, Luke?
Yeah, just head to state. I think you mentioned it, that he had cardiac arrhythmia again. That was the reason for his poor performance.
Yep, and Never Been Kissed. She'll go for a spell now as well. Moving on, the Division, 1,200 metres, Group 3 for fillies and mares, 3 lengths slower than the Roman Consul. Minaj was well supported in early markets. I think they found her in the pre-post. She might have went up double figure odds, but on the day she was $5 out to $6.50. Tricky Gal, she was terrific. She hovered around that $20 mark. Bellucci Babe, really well supported on the day, 7 into $5.50, but there was much better odds than that available earlier in the week. Best backed runner, great news. She was really well liked by the market, $4.80 into $3.70. And the best last 600 metres of the day was Tricky Gal, and it was the best last 600 metres of the meeting. She was home in 32.92. Minaj was very good, having her first run for the new stable, Luke.
It's just funny reflecting on this meeting now and thinking about my opinions on these races during the day, and I should have done my life on Saturday. I mean, I got this race wrong too. I wanted to oppose Minhaj. I thought she was priced a bit on trial form and J-Mac riding her, but John O'Shea he's a fantastic trainer. They're just ready when they go to the races. They're ready to perform. She was fresh up here and she went like a rocket, possibly in the inferior ground too. So I think she could win again. I had something on Bellucci Babe. I thought her effort was really creditable. And I also had something on Rocker Clock. She raced without a lot of room, but she seemed to have met a couple better on the day here. Great News will spell after racing a bit flat. She had a few tough runs early in her prep, didn't she?
She was outstanding first up. I know you backed her at the big odds, and she was never on the track that day. But yeah, she's been up for a while and she's done a good job. She'll win a race like this at some stage. I thought there were a couple of good runs here. I thought Sweet Deal was in it for a long way after travelling wide without cover. I thought Geist didn't have much luck. She got chopped out and she was really good late. And then there was another one I thought was pretty good.
The thing is too, though, how do you separate them all? I mean, other than Minhaj, who's sort of gone, here I am, bang, I'm away, I'm dominant here first up. Aren't they all pretty similar? The rest of them, maybe Bellucci Babe's the only other young horse that is sort of still on the way up. I just think a lot of these mares are probably, they are what they are now.
Yeah, and that's sort of the case with mares. Over in recent times, there's not a lot between them, and I guess it's usually the horse that gets the right run on the day. But they all get their race eventually. But I would be slightly careful of Minaj going forward because she did this last preparation. She won really well first up, and then she put in a couple of sort of flat ones. So they might keep it fresh.
She might be a bit of a first upper, freshie. Well, 3 out of 4 first up, isn't she? Yeah,
she might be a fresh horse. Yeah, 3 out of 4 first up, and she's only won. Well, sorry, how many races has she won? She's only won 3 races, hasn't she? 4. No, she's won 4. She's won 4 now. So she's won 3 out of 4 races, and she's only won 4 races. So she probably is a relatively fresh horse, but I guess she's with a new stable now, and we might see something different from her. I think they gave her an invitation too now after winning that race. Okay. So I think she's in the invitation.
You might be right. Deserves to be.
Deserves to be. That was a very good win. But the last of the day, benchmark 78 over 1,000 meters. There was only 1,000 meter event on the day. Leo, he hovered around that $6.50 mark for most of the day on the lead. I know you were really keen on him, and he was really well liked by the market. $2.70 into $2.25. Kinlock, $4.50 out to $6. What did you make of this horse you backed here on the lead? He was really well liked by the market, and Leo, he just proved too good for him in the run home.
Can't believe how well Leo went. Just absolutely airborne, this preparation. The way he sprinted, but I actually dodged a bullet here. I'd had a losing day. I hadn't backed on the lead yet, so I just decided to stay out in the end. So it proved the right call. Didn't want to do any more damage on what was a tough
Rough
day for myself. So yeah, look, we'll bounce back. But
we all have them.
We all have them. It'd be like a cricketer walking out. Sometimes you're just off. You're not seeing the ball that well. I just didn't see the ball well. I copped a few bounces early in the day, and I was just catting it after that. Scared.
But that's a good decision. You got to wrap yourself there because you've decided not to dive in at the short odds, and he at least reached his mark at some stage during the day. 225 was skinny at the end of the day.
I just saw the early move. I missed the boat, and then I thought there'll probably be a bit of money for Kinlock. He might get back out, and he just didn't. It was confidently backed. But the pot for Leo was that he led on the fence on that dynamite 7-meter rail at his most start. So he was very well favoured in a highway at his most recent start. And then he jumps to a benchmark 78 here against your Saturday class sprinters as opposed to highway horses, and goes better. Just nearly puts 3 on them. So I'd say he's a horse that's really in the zone at the moment and could win again.
Yeah, no doubt. He was very good. He's brought a highway class to benchmark class, and I think that first up effort was a career peak for him, and he's come out and reproduced it. So he can go on with the job now. I think 1,000 meters, that's his distance. Whether or not he can stretch that to 1,100 at this class, but we'll see in the near future. I'm going to give my horse to follow out of the meeting. I didn't mention her actually, but I thought Bargain was very good in the fillies and mares race. She wanted to run on. She was second up, but she didn't have much room. And I think that we can follow her with a bit of confidence going into the future. She's gonna be fitter for that. She'll be third up. She'll peak third up, and probably a little bit further than the mile next time. But did you find anything out of the meeting that you want to follow into the future?
Well, similar to your Bargain, she loves wet tracks, anything with a bit of give in it. She'll grow a leg. So too will Overpass out of the Roman Consul, race 5. He's flying this horse, and if he gets a track with a bit of moisture and give in it in the next fortnight or so, Björn will pick out the right race for him. I think he could be winning shortly. Yeah,
Overpass, he was really good on the line as well. I'm just checking. I thought he might have been a little bit between runs, but he was only second up there. So many of those had a couple of runs on him, but he can definitely improve. Thanks for coming on the show, Luke. We got the 1,000 guineas on Wednesday, so plenty of good racing this week. Hopefully we can find a few winners, eh?
Yeah, sounds good. BJ, you have a great week, and looking forward to the Everest, mate. Can't wait to be trackside too. I'll be there on Saturday, soaking it all up, and hopefully bouncing back after a losing Saturday this week.
That's brilliant. 10,000 people allowed to go to the Everest on Saturday. Is that correct?
Yep, that's spot on. So it'll be good to get amongst it. Feel like lockdown really has ended when we walk onto Randwick on Saturday for the Everest.
Freedom. That's awesome. It's going to be a great race. Nature Strip, Eduardo, Home Affairs, all the big guns are going to be there. Classic legend. We don't want to forget about him, but it's going to be a great race. Who are you with at this stage?
I'm with Nature Strip at this stage. I've always been on the wrong side of Nature Strip, but I just think this is his year. He's flying. He's had a perfect preparation, and if there's any juice in the track, he'll just love that too.
Yeah, a bit of rain about in Sydney, but have a great week. I'm excited about the Everest on Saturday. It's going to be a cracking day, and if you haven't yet got a ticket, I'd suggest that all the tickets are sold up.
I'm not sure. I get the freebie, mate. from the
You get the
missus.
freebie.
So.
You get the freebie from the
Gets me
missus.
back. Gets me back.
Right. Well, I'll let you go. Have a good week and enjoy the meeting at Randwick on Saturday.
Sounds good. Have a good week, guys.
Thanks, guys.